On this round of STV, it's all about heading to one of my favorite places to go and ride, the province of Quebec. Brent, hit that music. STV is brought to you by Zox Helmets, a clear view for every adventure. Ultimax Belts, performance driven, performance proven. And by Best Western Hotels and Resorts. The province of Quebec is the OG when it comes to organized snowmobile trail systems. Now, they may not have been the first to do it, but this place was and still continues to be the standard to which all other integrated trail systems are judged. Way back when, my first ever big snowmobile trip away from home, well before any of this TV stuff, was to Quebec on my old 90 Indy 650. It was mind-blowing back then, and it still is today when I get the chance to visit, but on that first trip, I distinctly remember riding through the parking lot at La Glacière and Saint-Zeno, amazed at the amount of trucks and trailers from all over. Of course, there was Ontario and Quebec license plates, but also ones from Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, New York, and then from further west, from places like Michigan, Wisconsin, and Ohio, really all over the place, and all there at the same time. And trust me, there was a definite scene going on. Over the decades since, a lot of those other places where sledders used to travel from have taken the Quebec model back home with them, improving their own systems, keeping those riders a little closer to home. Plus, there just seems to be less sledders nowadays, so things have gotten a little tamer in the province. But talk to any serious old-time sledder today, and chances are they've ridden in the province and have more than one crazy story to tell about their experiences there. While times have changed, one thing hasn't, and that's the quality of the trails and the snowmobiling experience there is to be had in every region across the province. It's hard to put into English words, and I'll butcher this pronunciation, but there's a certain joie de vivre, or joy of life, in the province that's different and unique compared to anywhere else I've been to. You can see this in the European influences in the cities. I mean, just go to Old Montreal or Quebec City and you'll feel transported to another time and place. And maybe it's this influence that has worked its way into every corner of the province. Then, even in the middle of nowhere, you'll find stunning remote lodges that pair exclusive French wines with your main course of braised beef cheeks, butternut squash puree, kumquat marmalade, and puffed wild rice. Of course, this is delivered to you after your appetizer of foie gras and followed up with maple syrup infused creme brulee for dessert. Now, I'm usually okay hanging out in the hotel room, eating slices of lukewarm pizza that tastes just like the plates made out of the greasy cardboard box it came in, but it sure is nice to step it up once in a while. Then there's the accommodations. Sure, there's the normal chain hotels you can stay at, and typically they're super snowmobile friendly and they're a great place to stay at or maybe leave from on a multi-day ride. But for me, I like the character of the unique remote lodges you'll find out there and the great folks who run them. In addition to the food, it's at these spots you'll find yourself welcomed in like an old friend. It's not uncommon here for guests to return to their favorite places again and again because of the friendships that develops with the owners. A good example of this is a place we visited last year, the Rabaska Lodge, with owners Dominic and Martin.
In the Rabaska, we're two brains, two different brains, because I'm more the guy go outside and play with the machine, okay? but I don't tell that to my wife because she think I'm working hard. But she organized, she talked to the client. Everybody come here in Arabasca has to talk to Dominique, and she assure you're okay. If you have a pet, you bring your dog, or she fix all for you. She's like the mother of every snowmobiler come at Arabasca. And for myself, I explain the trail. I'm connect with the club, so I'm sure the groomer pass tonight or tomorrow, so I'm able to help people to choose the right ride for the day. And the client feel like home, because every time they come, and they re-come every year, and a couple come in the winter and come back in the summer, bring wife, child. So it's all people said when they know us, it's like coming back home. And if they're happy, we're good too.
Let's put it this way, I've never had a bad trip. And we stay here at the Arabasca Lodge because it's like home. This is homey to us. And everybody that I've brought up here has enjoyed themselves as well, so it isn't just me. Quebec, when you have snow, they do the best job in the world managing it. Even if it's light, they don't have a lot, or if they have a lot, they seem to manage it the best. To me, the best in the world.
In addition to the great places to call home, even if it's just for a night or two, it's still the snow and the trails that draw people to this province. Coming up after the break, we're going to look at just some of the places to ride. This segment is brought to you by Ultimax. Quebec's trail system will have something for everyone's style of snowmobiling, from big snowy highways cut through endless forests, to open agricultural spaces, to off-trail riding opportunities, to really everything you can think of in between. It's hard for me to pinpoint a favorite place, there's just too many, but one spot that's pretty good is around Rouyn-Noranda and Val-d'Or up in the Abitibi-Témiscamingue region.
The best place in the world is shorts in Abitibi-Témiscamingue because they're safer and they're larger, 24 feet large, with a really nice sign, with exactly the kilometer and everything you can need as a sled driver. That's why it's important for us to have a good team, to have the operation for the groomer, okay, to keep the trail always grooming, always safe, and not the trade will jump like this. So that's why we have to we have a little committee to just to check the quality of the trail. Every 2 weeks, so we rode around all the trail just to make sure that everything is okay.
Here it's really special. Our region opening up earlier in the seasons compared to southern region of the country. So we have a lot of snow, and the season ended later too. So there's a lot of volunteers working in the clubs. So they put a lot of energy cleaning the trail, maintaining their trails, and they make it's an honor for them if people are happy and if people think that the trails are really nice to ride on. So it's really nice to see all this energy for the happiness of the people, of the snowmobilers.
It's a small community. Everyone knows everyone. So everyone has a friend or someone who has a sled. So everyone is involved to take care of the trail and the relay and everything. So that's why it's a nice place, and everyone knows everyone, and the trail are fantastic. So the volunteers take a huge part of the Club de Motoneige. So they are very, very, very proud of the trail. So it's like a second family for us and everyone here. So that's why we like it.
Leaving from this area, for the adventurous, you can ride east on gigantic loops that'll take you through places like Chibougamau, I love saying that name, and then on to places like Lac Saint-Jean and beyond. Here, the trails are remote, but the traffic is also light, and the flow and fun of riding this part of the system is second to none. Places like Chibougamau, which is such a great name, are definitely more on the adventurous side, but still an achievable experience for any rider, but do require a bit more commitment with a longer distance, not only traveling to get there, but to ride between the different towns. So if you're looking for a bit more of a populated region to ride in, you don't have to travel too far north from places like Montreal or Quebec City to find an amazing adventure or places to stay in like the Laurentides.
What is nice with this area is we have a big network of trail that is super well indicated. That means we don't need to do guided tours necessarily. Somebody can just come up to us, rent a sled, and then go by themselves on the trail. It's super well indicated. You get everything live on the map, the interactive map of the FCMQ, la Fédération des Clubs de Motoneige du Québec. So you have pretty much any kind of trails for any kind of taste. You want to do powder, we have powder. You want to just like ride quietly with your family on the Grand Touring, we can do that as well. You get pretty much everything you want.
Coming up after the break, we're going to point the skis to some off-trail opportunities in the province. This segment is brought to you by Wiseco. It's obvious Quebec is known for their trail system, but quietly developing in its wake are a number of regions that are catering to the off-trail crowd. This is a province blessed with plenty of open land where operators and guides can bring people into the countryside to ride off-trail where you're allowed.
For the backcountry or so, it's a pretty nice place because we have 300 Ks to make some play to ride like a mountain with a lot of snow. And also on March it's pretty nice to come here because the sun and the longer day, and we can make some fishing on the lake. And I can say that. And to make experience about the food, just a great time. Because we are really differently to the other ride, because the people just take home, you know, like make it comfortable, just to feel really nice and relaxed.
The off-trail riding experience and the sleds needed to do it has become one of the biggest areas of growth within the snowmobile industry, but it's also causing lots of land use problems where trails cross private property, especially farmland, and folks are ripping to where they shouldn't be. You gotta stay on the trails, otherwise we're gonna lose them. If you wanna ride off-trail, go where you're not trespassing and welcomed on your adventure. With a little homework, there's plenty of off-trail areas to ride in Quebec. Chibougamau, I love that town, is just one. Mont-Valin is another, but maybe one of the best places to go is in the Bay Saint Laurent region and is home to the Chic-Choc Mountains.
This is a really unique place. Most of the people think like when they're thinking about like mountain riding, everybody think out west, but it's starting to be known more and more. But the Chick-Chuck, it's a really unique place. We have like an average of snowfall of 7 meters, which is like 21 feet of snow every season. And we got good mountains. So what's cool about it, you know, our peak elevation, it's about 4,000 feet. So at 4,000 feet with a good snow, like I said, you know, like over 10 feet of snow, 4,000 feet means the machine have plenty of power. The fact that we have that much of snow, you know, you have to come here and to see it. You know, soon as you get into the little village where you're at sea level. So the sea brings a lot of heat at sea level. So there's almost no snow there, about that much. And as you go up, you know, you hit the trail, you're starting to see all of those trees there with tons of snow, and then you kind of realize how it is, you know, like you have to leave it. It's a really unique place in the world like that, to have these mountains and that much snow. And also what helped us to have like a lot of snow, the peninsula of Gaspé where we are, it's surrounded by the ocean, so it brings a lot of moisture. So it's pouring snow a lot here. Bluebird, they're kind of rare, but they're fun to have.
This area might not be the Rockies, but for us here in the East, it's definitely way closer to home. And even if a trip west is on your bucket list, maybe think about heading here first to figure out how to ride in the steep and deep.
To tell you, the Chick-Chuck Mountains have a little bit of everything to offer. But yes, there is a lot of technical terrain, but you'll find some wide open stuff. So every kind of rider will find, you know, what they're looking for. And as we guide them, you know, like we like to give clinics and we teach them the sport. So, you know, like you'll walk in here as a beginner and you'll walk out as a rock star.
I don't know what time it is. Can you show me what time it is?
I'll show you what time it is. I'll get you some skills on those sled, guys, okay? I want to show you how to do like what we call a powder hook, but to do that, okay, and you keep wrapping, wrap, and then turning. Once it's at point where you want to go 180 degrees, you release the throttle, so the sled will go back on both skis and you keep going. Inside, woo, 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 woo. Yeah, your eyes up and your chin up. You look where you go. Don't look at your ski. That's perfect. Don't look at me. Look where you want to go. Yeah. Yeah. That is perfect. Woo-hoo! Yeah, easy cheesy. Huh?
Easy cheesy.
Up next after the break, the ride concludes in one of my favorite provinces to ride in. This segment is brought to you by ProX. It's hard to sum up riding snowmobiles in Quebec other than to say it's so good. That's the feeling I get behind the handlebars when riding anywhere in the province. It just has everything you'd want with every type of snowmobile adventure you'd want as well.
So good. I mean, these trails are just so good. I think what we're gonna do is just drop our packs, maybe warm up for a bit in the hotel, and go right back out and ride. What do you say, Logan?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So good. So good.
I started this show talking about my first experiences here, seeing license plates and trucks and trailers from all over the Snowbelt. There was a reason back then that people would travel 20 hours by road to come and ride here, and you know what? That reason hasn't changed one bit. Quebec is unique in the snowmobile world, and once you come to experience how it's done here, it'll change the way you think about how snowmobiling should even be done. Well, that's it for this episode of STV. Until next time, I hope you get a chance to plan out your next snowmobiling adventure wherever it takes you. Oh, and hey, did I talk about the food for this in Quebec? Did I mention that? Because even a club sandwich there with a platter and poutine is to die for. And then you've got the fresh maple syrup on pancakes in the morning. And I remember this time I was there and we had these maple syrup dumpling things. I mean, I've been craving those for at least 20 years now. It seems like even a ham sandwich tastes better. STV has been brought to you by Yamaha, revs your heart. The Toronto International Snowmobile, ATV, and Powersports Show. And by OSMMag.com, your digital source for everything snowmobiles.
If you get a chance, please like and subscribe.